I love you, and I will answer them, but I don't know you. There are some people that will say, I want to marry you. And I'm again like, you don't know me. Like, what? Why?
यात्री कृपया ध्यान दें।
So, first of all, Elif, what do you do? Like a little bit introduction about you yourself and like what are you doing? I know, but my audience doesn't know. Yeah, so for them.
Okay, so I am a front-end developer, and I've been working as a front-end developer for almost the last 3 or 4 years. But before that, I studied at an engineering university. So while I was there, I didn't do much of coding. But when I graduated, I knew that I wanted to be a front-end developer. So I started working on that field.
Okay, that's pretty much nice. And you have given a lot of talks, and you are a YouTuber. And first thing is that I really like your personal brand. So I on Instagram I have seen a lot of developers who are really putting out content, but how you do it, that's something very remarkable, because I discovered you from your Instagram. Then I moved towards Twitter. I saw your posts on Twitter. You're very much active on Twitter. I don't know if you know that I follow you or not, but yeah, I do follow you, and it's no issues, no issues. But yeah, your tweets are nice. So a little bit of tips about like how you manage your personal brand, because you do a lot of development. You document your journey, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So how are you doing all of that stuff?
So, first of all, sorry, I didn't know about Twitter, but I will follow you back. Really sorry about that. Well, I actually started with Twitter, and I started using Twitter when I was doing the challenge of 100 days of code. So we can talk about that if you want later, but I started using Twitter then, and I started connecting more and more and more with people. And just a couple of months ago, maybe it was around June actually, so more than a couple of months, I decided to start using Instagram too. Before that, I was only using it just for personal reasons, for me, my friends, and my family and stuff like that. But I was seeing, as you said, like a lot of developers that they were doing some pretty cool stuff over Instagram. And I thought, yes, I want to do that as well, because I already put a lot of content out there. I put a lot of content on Twitter and on YouTube. So why not on Instagram too? It's a nice platform. So I started using it. And from the moment that I started, I knew what I wanted to do. So if you see, like, I always have the same template pretty much. I just have a photo of me, and the next time some let's say small article, and I follow that like all the time. And I like it. I hope that people like it too. I try to put value on each of my posts. I try to post useful things and things that people will like. Quite often I ask people what they want to see in my profile. Of course, there are some things that I cannot provide them. Like if they ask me stuff about hacking, I don't know this stuff. I don't work in that field. So I try to provide as much things as I know. And from the other hand, like I always try to respond to comments, respond to stories. I'm being active myself. Like I like a lot of people's photos. I always watch stories. I love watching stories. It's like a glimpse of people's life. And I think that Instagram is going good for me. I hope that in the future I will expand it. I think that you are the master of Instagram because you have such a big following. I don't know how you did that, but it's pretty amazing. All right, congratulations for you.
So, who are your favorite Instagram programmers other than, of course, Innovative Coder?
I really like Sasa Codes. She's really good. And I also like Trinka Codes. She's also really good, and she's a friend of mine. And she's also quite new on Instagram, but she does an amazing job, and her posts they have so much value. So I like these two girls a lot. And of course, other people. I don't want to offend anyone. There are many great accounts, but these are two of my favorite girls.
So, are you currently employed? Are you working somewhere or?
A few months ago, on September, I quitted my regular job whereas I was working as a front end and app developer. We were doing an app with the company that I was working in, and now, like the last month, I got a new job, and now I am in a high school and I teach informatics and computers and stuff like that. So I switched from being a full-time developer and being a teacher, let's say. I really love teaching, and this is something that I try to do through my YouTube channel. So then that I had the opportunity to go in an actual school and do that, like, I really, really wanted to do it. I love teaching.
You are teaching in a high school, right?
Yes.
That's great. That's great. So, how's your experience with teaching? I didn't knew that you are currently teaching because, see, I myself have taught for 3 years. For last 3 years, I have taught at in India we have these premium institutes like IITs and DTU. If you, I guess you might have heard about IIT, Sundar Pichai, and all of that have graduated from that only. So, in all of these colleges, I take guest lectures. I have taught more than what 500 plus students till now in last 3 years. I taught mainly machine learning, so I know the vibe you get when you are teaching students. They are learning, and the best thing is when they go out, they get job, they get placements. That's the best feeling. So, what about you? What about you?
Yeah, so I'm still very new to that field, and because we also had the COVID, it's a little bit hard
Mm.
because I started being in an actual school, and then now I'm in Greece, so we had a lockdown again, so I couldn't be in an actual school, and now we do the classes like online, and there are some students of mine that I haven't met in real life, only online. I think this is like not so good, but hopefully, like maybe next week or in a couple of weeks, we will be open again, and I will meet my students again. But as you said, like it's that vibe, and you see that they are young people. They wanted to learn. They are asking questions. They're like really positive on learning and about doing stuff. So I really like that. Yeah.
One quick question, Eleftheria. Which country are you from? I
From
forgot to ask.
Greece.
Sorry.
Yeah, from Greece.
Greece. That's good. And
Yes.
how's the coding culture over there? Honestly, I haven't heard much about, because see, I'm from India. I have heard only about, Silicon Valley and US and all of these things, but not about Greece. So what's the coding culture look over there?
It's starting to get more popular and more popular. I know that a lot of people don't know that, and they think that we don't have coders, we don't have developers. We maybe don't have a lot of companies that they are doing coding stuff, but a lot of us are working as freelancers, and they're working in USA or in Europe, so things are going good for them. I think that we are getting better slowly and slowly. So far, like in Greece has only like two big cities, and like the capital Athens, it's going better there, and you can find easily jobs. I live in the second biggest city, and it's called Thessaloniki, and there are not so many jobs there. But personally, I never had any problem on finding jobs. I mean, since I graduated from the university, I didn't have problems on finding jobs. So I think that it's getting better.
That's great. That's great. One country I have worked with in Europe, it's Netherlands. Netherlands, I have people have approached me for freelance and stuff like that. So I know a
I
little bit
think that,
about Netherlands and
yeah, I think that Netherlands is one of the best countries about coding and about developers. And I did an internship there in the Netherlands.
okay.
So yeah, as I said, like as soon as I graduated, because I wanted to have some experience, and I didn't have any experience, so I thought that the first thing that I could do is to do an internship. And my university like had this Erasmus program that you can change countries and
Wait a
find.
second. Sorry for interrupting, but Erasmus, I think I have heard this about in Germany. Erasmus Mundus scholarship, I think they have something like that, right? This
Yeah,
is the same thing?
it's the same thing. It's a European program, so you can go to any country that you want, but it has to be in Europe.
Okay.
And yeah, I knew that Netherlands is a great country, and everyone speaks English there, because other countries like Germany or France or Italy, they want you to speak their language.
Yeah.
But in the Netherlands, like everyone speaks English. So I went there for 3 months, and it was like a really nice experience because I learned so many things about coding. And then I came back to Greece, and I have maybe 3 months is not a lot, but at least it was something for me, and yeah, it gave me a nice push.
Yeah. So how many internships have you done until now?
Until now, I have done 2 internships. One, it was like in the city that I live in. Again, it was only 3 months, because usually it's 6 months or maybe even a year. But for me, it was only 3 months. And the other one, like in the Netherlands, again, it was again 3 months. So as soon as I did like these internships, then I started having some jobs. My first job was again only 6 months. But after that, I found like another job, and it was for about 3 years. And after that, like I have my current job.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. And how has your personal branding and putting out content, documenting journey, has it helped in getting the job or internship, or like has it made any impact on those things?
Yeah, I think that it had like a great impact. That's why I always said to everyone that you should start working on a personal brand. It's never too late. Just start doing it. For me, it has helped me so much, because I have like 2 passions. One of them is obviously like coding, but the other one is also traveling. Now you may think, what has the personal brand has to do with traveling? But actually it has a lot of things to do. When I started like documenting my journey, as you said, when I started working more with the social media, I also started being approached by other people, and they were asking me if I could go to a conference to give a talk. So the conferences were like all over the world, and it was like before COVID, obviously, that we could travel. And I started like going to all those amazing places. I went to Denmark, to Sweden, to the Netherlands, to Germany. I went in San Francisco, which was like a dream of mine. And I also went once to South Africa and in other places as well. So I did that thing only by being active on social media and only by creating a brand around myself. And it was like something amazing. And still I have like connections with those people and with those conferences. And now I gave like remote talks, which is nice because also the ticket is free. So it's nice for everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it's a great opportunity, I think, and everyone should do it. Everyone should start working around it.
And how's see Twitter? I see a lot of developers, putting out content. Instagram is a little, developers like they have a little lot of friction, on Instagram. So how's Instagram for programmers?
It can be tricky. So it depends. It depends because I think that that you put a lot of effort behind every post,
Yeah.
and sometimes people don't understand it. So you will see like the comments, and some people will be very positive, but of course there are always these people that are not so positive. And then from the other hand, because I am a woman, I think, I don't know if that happens to men, but also women can get like other kind of comments. And when you go, like, if you see my messages, I have
Oh shit.
some weird comments.
Got it.
There are sometimes some people that they say, "I love you," and I will answer them, "But I don't know you." There are some people that will say, "I want to marry you," and I'm again like, "You don't know me. Like, what? Why?" So there are this type of people too, but I'm always like, I always try for my best. And for me, the most important thing is to do the things that you love. That's why I also try to have posts on my Instagram that there are things that I really believe in. And there are also other people that say, like, let's do a shout out for shout out. Maybe you have a different opinion because you have like a very big Instagram account, but I personally don't like to do that much, because sometimes people approach me for a shout out, but they are working in different fields. For example, they are working as hackers, as I said, and things like that. But now I have an audience. Maybe my audience is still a small audience comparing to yours, but I still have that audience, and I know that most of these people are front-end developers or they are designers, because I also work in that field. And I wanted to keep my audience as it is. I want to have like one niche and only that niche, and not working with many different things. Like, I cannot handle many different things, so that's why I don't do so many of these things, like not many shout outs, or in my stories you will usually find things that has to do either about me or about front-end development and maybe design. That's it. And I don't know, maybe you think that this is not such a good approach, maybe you know many things that I don't, but pretty much that's how I handle Instagram.
No. I mean, like, everyone has his or her own approach, and moreover, what you have said, shout out for shout out and things like that, just multiply into 10. That's the amount of kind of flooding messages I get. But of course, I don't get. I'm not that lucky that I would get marry me or love you messages. But yeah, so that's the case. Okay, moving on. So, what challenges have you covered until now? Because I have seen you on your Twitter. I have seen this 100-day coding challenge, and I think one more was there. I don't remember. Sorry, but yeah, there was one more. So, what challenges have you done, and what's the benefit of these challenges? Because I am seeing this from last 2 years that people go into 100 days of ML code, 100 days of code, and all of these things, and they have helped a lot of people. A lot of people I know personally, also you, right? So how is that impact you?
Okay, yeah. This is a good question. Yeah. So it was for me also like a lot of years ago. It was when I graduated from the university, as I said earlier, that I didn't have a lot of experience, and I knew that I wanted to find like a real job and not only an internship. So while I was in the Netherlands, I decided to start learning more things that they can help me to find a real job. And I read an article on Medium, and that article was written by the creator of the challenge of 100 Days of Code, named Alexander Calway. He's a very big name on Twitter, and he was saying that you can take up the challenge of 100 days of code, and if you take that challenge, you will slowly build a portfolio, you will gain a lot of knowledge, and you will start making connections through Twitter. And I said, that's what I need. I needed to build a portfolio, I need to gain more knowledge, I need to connect with other people, with other developers. So I started doing that, and in that particular challenge of 100 days of code, you don't have like a specific curriculum that you have to follow. You can do whatever you want. And I wanted to be good at HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are like the primary things that I still believe that the front-end developer has to know. So I started like very slowly, every day for 100 days, like working on those three things. That's how I started the challenge of 100 days of code. Now, while I was doing it, I also found another challenge called Daily CSS Images. And in this challenge, you would, for 50 days, you will get an email, and in that email, you'd have a theme that you had to code. Now, that theme could be a sandwich, a Superman, a TV, a computer. But the tricky part was that you had to build that using only HTML and CSS. Only those two things. So it was only a visual thing. But for me, because I wanted to learn CSS, I wanted to improve my skills on CSS, I thought that yes, I will do that. So for 50 days, I was also doing that. I was only using HTML and CSS. So really, I personally believed that my skills got improved a lot, because imagine doing something for 50 days in a row. You will get better. Eventually, you will get better. And all those things that I was doing in these challenges, they also helped me to build a portfolio. Because before that, I wasn't using GitHub. I didn't have a personal website. But then I started doing projects. I started uploading them on GitHub. I started asking feedback on Twitter, and I started like connecting with more people. So I did those challenges, and then I liked the connection that I had with people. I liked that I was feeling productive. I liked that I had some content to put out there. And also that's how I started my YouTube channel, because I was doing so many things. I wanted to show to people what I'm doing, and if I could help someone that it was also new as I was, maybe they could see my videos and they could some value in it. They could find some value in it. So I started working more and more with that. Eventually, I did a lot more challenges. Like I even did 100 days of YouTube. And
Okay.
in that challenge, I was uploading every single day for 100 days videos on
Okay.
YouTube. These videos like had to do with coding, so I would code something, but it was quite tricky because I had to code, I had to edit it, you know the procedure, I had to
Yeah.
upload it and all these kind of things. Back then I wasn't so good at promoting my own videos, but at least like I was doing it like for 100 days straight. And yeah, so all these challenges helped me. They boost my confidence. They helped me when I was trying to find a job, because as I said, like I didn't have much experience, but maybe a boss or a hiring manager would ask me, what are you doing? So I would have something to say. I would say I'm working on that challenge and I'm building this project, and like my goals are to learn this and this and this. So I think that the other person that was interviewing me, they could see that I had a passion on that. I was willing to work on that. So that's how these challenges like really helped me.
100 days of YouTube is a really new thing for me, and I think I have to try this one. So
Yeah, maybe you
thanks
should.
thanks for the recommendation. Okay, and what about documenting your journey? Because like this is a documenting process only. Like you are every day doing something and then you're documenting, right? So one thing I have seen is that this has sort of pressure on you, right? And this is a good pressure. It's not a pressure in a bad way, because this pressure keeps you going, right?
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
so what's your take on documenting your journey?
Um, I think that I started doing that. I started documenting my journey while I was doing the challenge of 100 days of code. As you said, sometimes like now, because it's been like many years that I've been doing that already, at least on Twitter, because on Instagram I'm still new on that. Sometimes it can be a little hard because not all days are the same. Like you have some good days, but you also have some bad days, and maybe you don't feel like going on social media. And I think that every time you should try to be kind and positive for the other people as well. But when you don't feel so good because I mean, you had a bad day.
Hmm.
It's a little bit tricky to go out there, and especially something that it's hard for me is that I like to respond to every comment that I see either on Instagram or on Twitter. But if you see a comment that it's not so good and you have like a moody day and you will try to respond, but maybe your response is not as good as it should be. So sometimes that one can be tricky. But as I said, documenting your journey can only benefit you. So even if I had like those moody days, or if I feel some pressure, I will definitely continue on doing that. So yeah, that's pretty
Got
much
it.
it.
And this reminds me of one thing, that have you had any fights on social media because of like it
I
happens, right?
It happens. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit weird. I try when I yeah, I try to keep it like private. So if I see that someone is going to, let's say, attack me on social media, sometimes I will reply to them, okay, let's switch to DM, and if you want we can discuss it there more. And usually people don't have a problem with that, so we will continue the discussion on DMs. Sometimes when I get like all those weird messages, sometimes I will just erase the name and I will upload it as a story, and I will say, hey, this happened to me. So sometimes I get like a nice feedback from people, but there are always those other people that they will say, yeah, though that person was right. I'm not right 100% of the times, but at least I'm trying and I'm putting myself out there and I'm learning as everyone else is learning. So I think that this is something that people should remember, that all of us behind the social media, we are also humans. We also have feelings. All of us are trying for the best. And yeah, as I said a million times, we should all be positive and kind. Like, this is my message.
Very much resonate with this thing, because online hate, it's for everyone. It's uh, I very much relevant, my story as well. So sort of I appreciate what you are doing. And you know what, I have seen that you are a great public speaker. You are good at communication skills, right? You have given talks. I have I saw one of your talks. It was around, I think, 100 days of challenge itself.
Yeah.
uh, I don't know where it was, sorry for that. I
I
don't
think it's
remember
on
where.
YouTube.
No, it was on YouTube, but like which conference it was,
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know.
okay.
I don't remember that. So yeah, so I have seen that you have a lot of confidence while you speak. So what, how you built that, of course, like fun thing, and how it helped you in sort of, because see, at the end of the day, job, when you go for an interview, that's the one thing which helps you a lot. People skills, all of these things matter a lot. So what would you suggest for all the people who are looking out and who are not good at communication skills? Because I get a lot of messages, we are not good at communication skills, we are not good at negotiating, and all of those things.
Yeah, I think that this is something that also people should start slowly by slowly, like integrate it, let's say, in their life. I know that it can be like a little bit terrifying, like going out there and talking, and especially to a bunch of people that they don't know you. And something that don't many people know about me is that I'm actually a shy person and I'm quite introvert. Maybe you see me like on social media that I'm talking a lot, or I don't know, maybe it seems like I have another personality, but actually I'm pretty shy and introvert. And I remember that when it was my first time to give like a public speech, it was in a big conference. God, I was sweating. It wasn't like such a nice experience. But when I put myself out there, like on the stage, I remember that the first thing that I said was my name. I said, "Hi, I'm Eleftheria." And when I said that, I was nervous. But after that, immediately I stopped being nervous. Like after that, I immediately, like, my mind switched and I said, I'm here, I'm in that conference because I want to say something. I want to give like a motivational talk. I want to talk about being a better developer. I know that if I do that, maybe I will help someone. Maybe someone will find my advice and my tips helpful. So I said, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and that's how I started. So for your question, I think that people should start like slowly try to talk a little bit more. They shouldn't be afraid to say their opinion. Document something, document maybe your answer, because this will also help you. And if you don't start doing something, you will never get better. So start doing something and eventually you will get better. Don't be terrified by other people, and yeah, start doing it.
And how many talks have you given until now?
I don't know. I haven't counted them, but they are
Approximately.
a lot. Yeah, I know that there are people that they are something like professional speakers. So they
Yeah.
are in countries all the time, and they talk to many different conferences all the time. I'm not in that level. I wish I was, but I'm not in that level. And like actually, like this whole year, because we have the COVID
Hmm.
situation, I had I missed a lot of conferences, and many conferences were postponed. But from the other hand, like also many conferences are now online. So I also like that. I also like having those meetups or conferences online. But of course, it's another thing being with real people and in real time. So I hope that very soon we will go back to normal things.
And one question I have is, how do you network? Like these conferences, I have visited to a lot of conferences in India as well. So one thing I find that people struggle with networking, right? They'll stand in one corner, just enjoy the conference. That's good. That's good. But I think the main purpose of a conference is, yeah, learning is a part. Learning is definitely a part, but networking is also a very major part. So how do you
Exactly.
do that?
Yeah, and networking is something really important. So, again, as an advice to your audience, I would say if you go to a conference or a meetup, don't just listen to the speaker. Also, go to the other person, to the other people around you, and start talking with them. Now, as of how to do that, I think that the simple thing that you can do is to go to somebody and say something nice, like if he or she is the speaker, they could say you had like a nice talk, and maybe you had a question. So could you explain that a little bit more? Or if you want to talk someone that it's not the speaker, but it's like somebody else from the audience, you can start by something very simple, like are you working on something? Do you have like any side project? And sometimes I don't like very much the question if you work somewhere professionally, because not all people have a job currently. So maybe you could ask something similar, like do you work on a side project, or do you want to develop a particular skill, because a lot of people are working on their own things, and people like to talk about themselves. So try to ask something like not very personal, but at least something that has to do with that person. And sometimes also it can be a little bit tricky to go to a big group of people that they are already talking. So maybe try to approach someone that is alone in a corner. Maybe this will be a little bit easier. And if you feel like comfortable with that, then you can continue and go to a group of people.
And that's a really interesting advice, to go to someone who is, isolated, and, is not isolated, who is individual. What would you say? Who is, standing alone, and
Yeah.
just break the ice, sort of. I would say it's like mini dating, right? What's your take on that?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, you have to
Sorry?
mini dating. You have to break the ice. You have to
Ah, yeah.
sort of, uh, sort of in that way.
Yeah.
That's just my perspective.
Yeah, usually the first thing is going to be the hard one. Like, with what are you going to break the ice? This is usually like the hard thing. But if you can like I don't know, find a way to break the ice, then everything is going to be easier. And since everyone is that conference for a reason, maybe they are there for learning purposes or to network. I mean, everyone will have pretty much the same mindset there. So it's not like you're going to talk about something that no one else is going to care about, or you're going to talk about something that no one else will know about it. So pretty much if you have the same mindset with another person, I'm pretty sure that you can have like a nice conversation also.
Exactly. Just like how we had right now. Okay, so yeah, so here we come to the end of the conversation, and it was very nice talking to you, LF, and you have a great experience, because I think, like, what's your age? It's I know it's a bad, it's these are bad manners to ask age of a girl, but
Okay.
I mean, like, I just want to get an idea of what you have achieved till now.
I'm currently 27. I was born in
Okay.
1993, so now I'm 27.
Okay, and that's great. You are like at this you know so early, like you have done a great things. I don't find a lot of people doing all of these things, because managing, see, I know I manage all of these things: YouTube, this meet, social media, then projects, clients, all of that thing. It's not easy how easy it looks from the outside. It's so that difficult from the inside. Yeah. So you have any questions, feel free.
Uh, how do you manage to do all of those things? I mean, you do so many things. So how do you manage to keep up with all of those things?
I would say that first thing is routine. See, I follow a sort of strict routine, you can say. So, and I have allotted times for all of these things. So I have a fixed time for for meeting with clients. I have fixed time for doing YouTube stuff. I have fixed time for doing this thing as well. So like this is how I'm able to manage all of the
Yeah.
things until now. Yeah, that's the one thing.
Of course, like scheduling is one of the most important things, and having a routine as well.
Yeah. And then how does your routine looks like?
Lately, it has changed a little bit since I changed my work. Now I actually have a lot. I have some more free time, but I also do a master's.
Okay.
It's a master's about UX, and now I devote a lot of my time in that
Okay. So
master.
are you a designer?
That master is about design, is about UX and UI design. Yes, I really like working on that field as well. And now I'm on my last year that I have to do my thesis. So it's a little bit tricky again, because I have to study a lot of things. I have to write a lot of things. I have to talk with my professor quite often. So a lot of my time goes there. But after that, like usually in the morning and late in the evening, I will be on social media. And then on the weekends, I will work on my YouTube channel.
I was about to end the video, but one thing, you have told me that you are doing masters in UX, right?
Yeah.
And then that's pretty new for me. I haven't met anyone who is doing masters in UX. So tell me a little bit about that.
Um, Well, I can tell you why I wanted to do that master's, because I was working as a front end developer, and I was in a small company, and that company didn't have like a dedicated designer. And I was seeing that we, the developers, were doing things just because we liked those things, but there wasn't like a particular reason. Like maybe I like something, but you don't like it, or maybe you like something and I don't like it. I wanted to do things, and I wanted to do things that had like a meaning. I wanted to be sure that the things that I'm doing, they are correct, and they are correct not only for me, but they are correct for other people that are going to use that product that me and my team were building. So I thought that I could go like one step behind, and I could study the design and how designers think. So that's why I decided to do that master's in UX and UI design. Yeah, pretty much that's
Great.
it.
And what do they teach in Big C? I also design, right? Because when you are freelancing, you have to sort of satisfy your clients. So build wireframes, then you are developer and you are
Yeah.
designer, right? So what do they teach in a course like Masters of UX? Do they uh, teach tools, or do they tell you how to think? Because in designing, tools can be learned in a week, right? You can learn Figma in 2 days. You can learn not Photoshop in one day, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, sort of you can learn tools
Yeah.
in a week or in a month at max. But how does Masters of UX look like? I really want to know that.
Yeah, it's the first thing that you said. It's they teach you how to think. And I remember that on the first year, we actually had a lot of courses that had to do with the history of arts. So we were studying a lot of things about the history of arts, like painting and like how was the things on I don't know the name in English, but let's say in Italy, that it has like a great history with painters and stuff like that, or in the Netherlands, that again they had like a great history with painters, but like historical stuff. And when you see how all these things started and where we are today, it's like a really a mental thing to see all those progress things. So I had some courses, let's say, about history. I also had some courses about photography. And because when you take also a photo, you have to think a lot of things. Some people know some of them, like maybe some people will think about the lighting, which is one of the most important thing, but also it's the perspective, it's the angle from where you see something, it's where you crop something, it's the colors, obviously. So we had also a lot of courses about photography. What else? We had some courses about packaging as well, because UX is also about packaging. I don't talk now about only websites. I talk about physical product as well. For example, that this is a package from a camera. So this is also like packaging. This also has to do with UX and design as well. So my master was not only focusing on websites and products that are online, but also about like physical products. And we had some courses for that as well. But now that I'm doing my thesis, I am focusing on tools that can help students to learn those tools and then go out there and find a real job. Because at least here in Greece, UX is not in many universities, and like the students don't have a lot of courses about UX. Like in all the Greek universities, you will very rarely find something about UX. So my thesis is focusing on that, on how we can help students and like learn them some tools and some techniques and some methods that they can actually like benefit from there and go out there and start like freelancing or finding like a real job.
Do they teach about freelancing as well, like how you can approach clients and stuff like that?
No, not that much.
Okay, got it. Yeah. That's really nice. That's a little new for me. So, but it's great. It's great. And then how you approached toward masters, that's really important, because a lot of people go with conventional way, like they do bachelor's, then they do master, but you have a purpose for doing masters, and that's what I like in this whole thing. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, here we come to the end.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to say like thank you very much, and it was like an honor being here with you, because you're an amazing person and you're doing many things. Like I really admire you. Like congratulations.
Thank you. It's mutual. It's mutual.
Thank you.
Yeah. So okay, Aleph. Nice meeting you. And
nice meeting you too.
Most probably we'll have another session as well, and that would be based on UI UX. So because I want someone who can talk a little bit about UI UX as well, because that field really interests me, and I and you look experienced in this area as well. So
yeah.
I hope you
love that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Aleph. Meet ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.